Writing a satisfying twist ending is difficult. Most attempts fail because they rely on unearned shock value that tricks the audience instead of offering a logical payoff. But a piece of flash fiction called The Passenger Count at the end of the line achieves this balance, and it does so in under 150 words. We are going to spoil the ending right now. The protagonist arrives at a foggy cemetery and discovers he is already dead. Giving away the finale up front shifts our focus. We can skip a simple plot summary and instead perform an architectural teardown of how this story engineers fear. Knowing the protagonist is a ghost allows us to travel back from that climactic cemetery reveal to the very first sentence, the last bus of the night pulled into the station. This brings up the concept of retroactive continuity. The final revelation forces a complete reevaluation of every mundane sentence that came before it. The narrative distances itself from the standard campfire trope through specific, hidden details planted within the prose. A successful twist operates as a new lens, demanding the audience immediately reread the preceding text to catch the details they missed the first time. The autopsy starts at the moment of boarding. The young man steps onto the bus and taps his transit card. The machine beeps and displays a message: "Welcome back." The protagonist immediately frowns, noting that he has never taken this route before. This contradiction signals a purgatorial loop, keeping the soul in endless transit, rather than heading to a geographic destination. From there, we look at the driver. He offers no explanation and remains silent, matching the role of a psychopomp, a mythological entity tasked with ferrying the newly deceased to the underworld. By wrapping these elements in mundane urban frustrations like a malfunctioning scanner and an apathetic transit worker, the author successfully disguises ancient mythological tropes in plain sight. As the bus begins moving, the author directs our attention upward, isolating the digital passenger display mounted above the silent diver. This display drives the core horror mechanism of the text. At every stop, the doors open to empty sidewalks, yet the digital passenger count keeps rising. This graph tracks the specific sequence of 2, 5, 11, and 18. This visualizes an invisible progression toward a final number. These rising data points represent the unseen boarding of the dead, escalating fear without needing to describe a physical monster. There is a sharp contrast between these crowded numbers on the screen and the physical, suffocating emptiness inside the bus itself. The dread relies entirely on quantitative data. It proves that simple math, when applied to an unsettling scenario, produces more terror than visceral gore. The driver finally pulls over and announces they are at the end of the line. The physical cessation of the vehicle synchronizes with the peak of the narrative tension. Staring out into a fog-covered cemetery, the confused young man checks the display one last time and reads 19 on board. This visual equation shows the logic of that final number. The 18 unseen entities plus the one isolated protagonist equals 19. The protagonist's realization mathematically aligns with the exact millisecond the reader processes the addition and understands the twist. Condensing this entire emotional arc into less than a page demonstrates the power of extreme brevity in flash fiction. In these stories, the ending provides the structural resolution for everything that preceded it. This realization exposes a sinister narrative that existed between the lines from the very first sentence. True horror recontextualizes the familiar, leaving the audience to fear what might be sitting right next to them in everyday spaces.